I love this town, but obviously it doesn't love me, so it's time to go.
We're never coming back to this city.
In Las Vegas, families used to trade a few lost dollars for free volcano shows, cheap buffets, and memories that felt priceless. Today, you're hit with a $60 fee just to check in early, $50 for a bottle of water, and the iconic Mirage Volcano gone for good. Middle-class visitors are being squeezed out, executives openly admit they want them gone, and the Strip's magic is collapsing with them. What really broke the city's promise to everyday people, and who benefits from this unraveling? A family of 4 steps up to the check-in desk at a mid-tier Strip hotel. The room, advertised at $159 a night, suddenly balloons. The clerk asks, "Will you be checking in early?" The answer is yes after a long drive. That's $60 just to get the key a few hours sooner. Resort fees add $55 per night mandatory. Parking is another $30. The total, before even seeing the room, is now over $300 for one night. At the pool bar, a bottle of water rings up at $50, cocktails start at $25, and pancakes at the cafe, $30 a stack. One viral receipt from a Flamingo guest in 2024 showed a $60 early check-in fee, sparking outrage online. Families post screenshots venting about surprise charges that double or triple the bill. Review sites fill with warnings. Budget hundreds extra for fees they don't show you up front. The Federal Trade Commission's new rules say hotels must display the total price, including all compulsory fees, before booking, but in practice, the real number still hides behind fine print or appears at the last click. For a 3-night stay, the unadvertised extras can top $400, not counting meals or tips. Visitors describe feeling tricked, insulted, or just defeated. The promise of a fun, affordable Vegas weekend slips away, replaced by line items and sticker shock. Would you pay $50 for water or $60 just to get into your room before 3 p.m.? For many, that's the moment they decide. Never again. For decades, the Mirage Volcano was a nightly beacon on the Strip, roaring fire, water, and music since 1989. Crowds gathered for every eruption, kids on parents' shoulders, tourists pressed against the railing, all for a show that cost nothing. In August 2024, demolition crews tore it down to make room for a new Hard Rock Tower. Just steps away, the Treasure Island pirate battles, once a spectacle of cannon fire and acrobatics, ended in 2013. The crowd-pleasing chaos, the laughter, the sense of wonder, gone. By January 2024, even the Avengers STATION exhibit closed its doors. Free attractions are vanishing one after another. The Strip used to promise magic for anyone willing to wander. Volcanoes, fountains, pirates, street performers, all part of the deal. Now families walk past construction fences and shuttered stages, searching for something that isn't there. A visitor from Ohio remembers the volcano as the thing my kids talked about for months after. It was the highlight. Another, a Vegas regular since the 1990s, says, "It feels like they're erasing the soul of the city." The old bargain, lose a little at the tables but get a show and a memory, has been broken. What's left is a city that charges more and offers less, trading shared wonder for empty lobbies and silent nights. The magic, once free and everywhere, is now just a memory for most. By March 2025, only 8 buffets remain on the Las Vegas Strip. At one time, dozens lined the boulevard, giant rooms packed with steam tables and families, a place where $20 bought you a feast and a sense of belonging. Today, the few that survive come with a new price tag. $65 for dinner, sometimes $90 on weekends, up to 3 times what you would have paid a decade ago. A family of 4 stands in line at the Bellagio buffet, scanning the menu. The parents whisper, should they skip the kids' tickets and share plates? The math is brutal, nearly $300 for a single meal, not counting drinks. A father remembers the old days when buffets meant cheap shrimp, unlimited desserts, and a break from counting every dollar. Now, the carving stations are smaller, the lines longer, and the promise of abundance feels out of reach. Food halls have replaced mini buffets, swapping all you can eat for a la carte charges that pile up fast. The egalitarian spirit that once defined Vegas, everyone welcome, everyone fed, has faded behind velvet ropes and digital payment screens. For many, the buffet was the last affordable luxury, a symbol that Vegas valued every visitor. Its collapse isn't just about food, it's about losing the sense that regular people belong here. The Strip's new message is clear: pay up or move along. Caesars CEO Tom Reeg put it plainly on an earnings call: they're kicking out the lowest end. He sees no reason to stop. The new playbook is simple: court whales, squeeze the masses, and let the rest find somewhere else to gamble. On the Strip, the perks for high rollers are hard to miss. Private jets waiting on the tarmac, limousines idling outside, penthouse suites stocked with Dom Perignon. VIPs get chip rebates, lines vanish, and the best tables are always ready. Meanwhile, everyday visitors face a different set of odds, literally. The classic 3-2 blackjack payout has all but disappeared. Now most tables pay 6-5, quietly boosting the house edge and draining wallets faster. For slot players, minimum bets have crept higher and the machines are tighter than ever. The message is clear: if you're not betting big, you're just a number on a spreadsheet. Behind the scenes, executive paychecks are swelling. Caesars handed its CEO a total package of about $13.5 million in 2024, up 42% from the year before. MGM's chief took home nearly $12 million, a 28% jump. Wynn's CEO crossed $15 million, with bonuses and stock awards tied directly to higher margins and premium guest targets. Proxy filings spell it out. Fee hikes, luxury upgrades, and operational efficiency are the triggers for these payouts. Median worker pay, by comparison, sits at $39,000. The CEO to worker pay gap now runs as high as 324 to 1. This isn't just about a few big salaries. The entire system now rewards executives for pushing up resort fees, cutting low-margin perks, and steering the experience toward the top 1%. Internal memos and analyst calls talk about refining guest mix and yield management, code for charging more to fewer, richer guests. Even the numbers prove the point. In 2024, Strip net income dropped more than 40%, even as revenue ticked up 6%. The model is to make more from less, at least on paper. But the cost is everywhere. Empty lobbies, quiet tables, and a city that feels less alive. Casino bosses cash in when the crowd thins out, even if the magic goes with it. For middle-class families, the odds aren't just worse at the tables, they're worse everywhere. Holly Lang stands behind the bar at MGM, scanning a half-empty casino floor. She's worked here for 12 years. Last summer, a Friday shift meant constant orders and steady tips, $300, sometimes $500 a night. Now, she counts out her tips at the end of a long shift and sees $124. There's just a lot less foot traffic and gambling, she says. The regulars aren't coming back and the big spenders don't tip like the families used to. A TikTok waitress pulls out her phone and films a breakdown. Last year, she'd walk out with enough to pay rent and groceries. This week, after 8 hours, her tips barely cover gas. Her video racks up thousands of views. In the comments, other servers compare notes. Tips cut in half, shifts canceled, side gigs picking up the slack. One writes, "I used to love my job. Now I'm just scared." The story repeats itself up and down the Strip. At Poker Palace, a neighborhood casino open since 1974, workers gather for a meeting in October 2025. The manager reads the numbers. Visitation is down, revenue can't cover payroll. 126 jobs vanish in a single announcement. Dealers, cooks, and security guards pack up their lockers. Some have worked here for decades. It's devastating. We went from stable jobs to the unemployment line overnight, a laid-off dealer says. For many, there's no backup plan. Some move in with relatives, others start looking out of state. A few end up sleeping in cars, waiting for unemployment checks to clear. Concierge desks disappear from 6 major MGM resorts in August 2025. 19 concierges are let go, 15 more shuffled into new roles. Guests now tap the MGM app for help or wait in line at kiosks. Managers say it's about efficiency. 80% of guest requests now come through digital channels. For the workers, it's just another door closing. We used to help people plan their dream trips. Now we're out of work, says one former concierge. The city's famous 24/7 culture is shrinking. Restaurants and bars that once never closed now lock up at midnight or 2 in the morning. Graveyard shift workers lose hours. Some venues quietly cut staff to avoid triggering layoff reporting rules. Staff texts circulate nightly. Don't come in, shift canceled. The grit is starting to show. Workers talk about unpredictable schedules, managers stretched thin, and guests growing frustrated with longer waits and fewer smiles. Union officials call this summer the worst for job anxiety since the Great Recession. For families who built a life in Las Vegas, the promise of steady work and a shot at the middle class is slipping away. The Strip glitters for the few, but behind the scenes, the lights are going out for many. In July 2025, Las Vegas counted just over 3.09 million visitors, a drop of 12% from the year before. That's about 420,000 fewer people in a single month. Occupancy on the Strip hovered at 78.9%, down more than 2 points. For every 10 hotel rooms, more than 2 sat empty, even as summer crowds should have been peaking. The average daily rate, or ADR, settled at $185.24. That's not a bargain. It's a sign that hotels are still charging high prices, even as fewer guests fill the beds. Revenue per available room, or RevPAR, slipped 7.6%. The numbers don't just look bad, they send a message. Strip net income collapsed by 40.4% in 2024, despite a 6.2% rise in total revenue. Casinos made more money from each guest, but not enough guests came. Room taxes hit a record $382.7 million for the fiscal year, yet city officials warn of a $110 million shortfall in the next budget. Fewer tourists mean less money for schools, parks, and public safety. Council meetings grow tense as officials debate which services to cut. The mood on the Strip is different now. Empty tables, quiet lobbies, and shuttered venues are more common. The crowds that once gave Vegas its energy have thinned out. The people who do come notice the change. Less buzz, fewer families, more empty seats at shows. A city built on spectacle and excitement is running low on both. The numbers tell the story. Vegas is losing its audience, and the financial cracks are spreading from the casino floor to City Hall. Off the Strip, a different story is taking shape. Local casinos like South Point and Station properties are packed on weekends, their parking lots full by noon. These venues kept resort fees low, offered regular promotions, and focused on value. In the past year, some report revenues up as much as 50%. The difference is simple. Locals and budget-minded visitors want a fair deal, and they're voting with their wallets. But the pressure isn't just local. Laughlin, once a sleepy river town, now draws over 1.5 million visitors in the first half of 2025, up more than 7% from last year. Hotel rates average less than half of the Strips, and casino floors are busy. Reno and Sparks are seeing a similar bump, with nearly 2.7 million overnight stays and aggressive marketing aimed at Californians who used to drive to Vegas. Palm Springs casinos boast over 90% weekend occupancy, luring former Vegas regulars with free parking and fewer add-ons. Atlantic City's rooms go for $123 a night, beaches included, and package deals in Cancun are pulling in families who once made the annual trek to Nevada. The Canadian market is shrinking. In the first half of 2025, Canadian visits dropped 15%. Airlines like Air Canada and WestJet have cut more than half their direct flights to Las Vegas, blaming weak demand and better deals elsewhere. Online gambling is exploding. In 2025, the U.S. digital market is worth $13.88 billion, growing 10% a year. For younger players, the casino fits in a pocket. There are 40 real money gambling apps available in some states, each offering slots, blackjack, and sports betting. One former Vegas regular, now in his 30s, says, "Why pay $400 a night when I can bet from my couch?" For the next generation of gamblers, the Strip is just one option among dozens, and often not the best one. In June 2025, Las Vegas saw visitation drop by over 11%, nearly 400,000 fewer people compared to last year. Resort fees climbed to $55 a night. The famous Mirage Volcano was demolished, and only 8 buffets remained on the Strip by March. Casino executives have openly stated their focus on kicking out the lowest end, but the numbers show this strategy is putting pressure on profits, with Strip net income down more than 40% even as revenue rose. Workers like Holly Lang report tips cut in half, and the city faces a projected $110 million budget shortfall. What remains unclear is how far corporate leaders will push before reversing course, and whether proposed fee freezes or regulatory changes will restore lost value. As competitors, both online and in rival destinations, gain ground, the evidence shows that Vegas's old promise to everyday families is at risk. For now, the city stands at a crossroads, its future tied to the choices made in boardrooms and on the casino floor.